Welcome to Combat Sports Talk, a podcast dedicated to UFC and Bellator discussion, the MMA community, and combat sports in general. I'm your host, Ryan Smith, and joining me on air this week is the man who sweeps the leg, especially in practice, our co-host, KC Onyebuchi.
Oh, good on you, mate. That's a little bit of a low blow there, but I'll go with it.
All right.
Why that is.
Yeah. So tell me, man, what happened? I got this text message yesterday, like I can't podcast today. Had an incident. BJJ. It's gross. What happened?
Yeah. All right. So jiu-jitsu is the grossest thing ever. And before I get into the story, first, full apologies, and I don't mean to make light of this to my gracious opponent. But I was in Mondays are my 3-sport practice, so I start with the jiu-jitsu, then go to powerlifting, then kickboxing. So started off with jiu-jitsu with a buddy that I roll with constantly. The guy is just phenomenal, a top student. So we were working on calf slicers. So we were going from half guard and rolling into a calf slicer. It's pretty easy. It's just rolling is a little bit technical in being able to stop at the right spot so that you don't roll out of it. And my partner and I try to always go at a speed that's light and easy, but it's kind of real time. And unfortunately, what happened is he did not stop and lock in the slicer in place, and I felt some wiggle room, so I continued to roll so I could gain the advantage. Unfortunately, the rest of his body did not roll with me, and I heard a very audible pop, and I felt a crunch as his knee separated and went the opposite direction of where I was rolling. Oh. So, yeah, jiu-jitsu is crazy gross because immediately I had a thought of, all right, I have to respect my friend here because I almost threw up on him.
Oh,
so if you could imagine.
Because I'm getting ready to throw up on the mic right now. This is awful.
You can imagine hearing a loud audible pop in your own knee. Your knee's going the other way, and then your friend throws up on you. I was like, that's too much.
That's a bad day.
I can't do this to this man. So, he was super gracious about it. He's all good and still encouraged me to keep going. I almost had a Uriah Hall moment where it's like you see the nastiness of your sport and you're just shaken to your core. So I had to sit out a couple rounds, but definitely getting back into it and wishing my friend the speediest of recoveries.
All right. Well, I wish the same. Okay. Well, the two big promotions were off last week while they gathered steam for Mother's Day Massacre of fights this weekend. So we focused on some of the smaller regional promotions where fighters laid it on the line in small arenas and sparse crowds. And still, they made headlines. So let's make it official and discuss the results of 3 key fights from this weekend. This is The Official Decision.
The Official Decision.
The Official Decision. Welcome to The Official Decision, a segment where we talk about some of the key fights from the weekend. Invicta 29, the all-female MMA promotion, was on display in Kansas City, Missouri. And the what?
Yay. That's all.
Yay.
Way to ruin that.
Sarah Kaufman, former UFC competitor, defeated Katarina Lehner via submission in round 3, and she won the vacant Invicta Bantamweight title. That's awesome.
That's super dope. But I gotta wonder, isn't Invicta still basically part of the UFC umbrella?
No, it's its own promotion, but it uses the media channels that the UFC has access to, specifically Fight Pass, to put on its events. And some of the female fighters do eventually move over from Invicta into the UFC. I think that's why the bantamweight title for Invicta was vacant.
Nice. Good stuff, Sarah.
So LFA 39, that's Legacy Fighting Alliance, was in Dobson Arena in Vail, Colorado. The Hurricane, Ian Heinich, defeated Gabriel Zangief Checo by knockout in round 1, and he won the interim middleweight title for that promotion. So shout out to him.
Dude, the whole Legacy Fighting Alliance, I have to give a quick shout out to one of the gyms I train at, which is Factory X out of Littleton, Colorado. They went 6-1 on that card.
Really?
Dude, Factory X was putting in work with 6 finishes on the card.
6 finishes?
These guys, 6 finishes at 6-1. These guys put together performances.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So when are they coming on the show?
Come up to Denver with me sometime, and we'll make it happen.
Okay. But if I appear in Denver, I expect to talk to some of these factory.
I expect you to do a workout.
Nope, not with you, and for sure not no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Hey, I went from having no ground game to apparently I'm a leg breaker.
Classic Entertainment and Sports, that is CES MMA. They were putting on a show at the Space at Westbury in Westbury, New York. Now, it was originally, we reported that Rene Forte was fighting Matt Secor, but Rene fell out with 3 days to go, and so Adam Ironhead Sepulveda fought Matt Secor and was defeated via knockout by TKO in round 1. This was not much of a fight. I actually found this on Facebook, and they rolled around, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style, each trying to get each other in a leg lock. And then Matt Secor just kind of stood over Sepulveda and just started dropping bombs on him. He landed like 3, and Sepulveda's like, I only trained for this fight for 3 days. Give me my money.
I don't need this.
Give me my money.
Right?
So that's it, man. Let's close the book on this one, put it on the shelf, because this card is history. Now, let's take a look at what everyone is talking about in the world of MMA with Finding the Angles.
The Angles.
Finding the Angles.
This is Finding the Angles, and it's been a busy week here on Finding the Angles, so let's just jump right in. The human arm ain't supposed to bend like that. Legacy Fighting Alliance number 39. It was the fight that made all the headlines this weekend. Jerome Rivera knocked out in 40 seconds by Brandon Royval, but
of Factory X.
Of Factory X. I didn't know that, but okay. Rivera tried to brace himself against the cage. So, if you haven't seen the video, go out and look for it. But you better have a barf bag next to you. It took me all day to muster up the courage to watch this video.
I told you it wasn't that bad. Come on now.
Man, I get queasy when I see fight injuries or any kind of athletic injury, like basketball ankles breaking, football knees. I can't watch athletic injuries.
All right, so full disclosure, when I watched this video, I watched it on my phone in pieces, so I had to uncover the video piece by piece with my hand because I wasn't ready to see it all at once.
Oh, man, so you're telling me, like, it's not so bad. I'm like, listen, let's not even talk about it. I'm going to let you talk about it. I'm going to do the headline. I'm going to let you talk about it. And it was all day me trying to decide, am I actually going to watch this video?
I mean, you can watch it. You just have to prepare yourself to, the arm is going to get broken. What I didn't love about it, which couldn't be avoided, though, is the arm breaks and Brandon just lands a nasty head kick on Rivera that just ends it all. And the problem was he was an unprotected fighter, but neither the ref nor Brandon could see that because Rivera had turned away. Yeah,
it was fog of war for sure. Like he put Brandon up against the cage. Brandon put Rivera up against the cage. His arm breaks. Rivera turns and tries to run away, trying to wave off like, "Hey, wait!" And it's like, "Kaya!"
Got him.
It's it's definitely one of these.
Boom! Rocked him. I don't know. That's more like getting hit with a bat. It was bad. Just savagery.
Yeah, so hopefully Jerome Rivera heals from his head kick knockout and his broken arm very quickly and finds himself back in action very, very soon. Shout out to Brandon Royval for knocking out someone who was running away with a broken arm.
Oh, come on now.
All I gotta say is I like how you shouted out that Factory X had 6 finishes. One of them was a guy with a broken arm with his back turned.
Well, first of all, shout out to being able to break that arm, because that was dope in its own right. And
he broke it himself.
No way of knowing.
Okay,
he had no way of knowing Rivera's arm was broken at that moment.
I give you, he had no way of knowing, but he doesn't get any credit for the broken arm. The cage did that.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's move on. Colby Covington threatens to slap Joe Rogan.
Has he not seen Joe Rogan's numbers?
Well, the thing is that Joe Rogan is not someone he's a comedian. Yeah, he does color commentary, things like that. Joe Rogan is still an accomplished kickboxer. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, and the weight class difference, Colby really doesn't want that. I get that you get wrapped up in trash talking, but you don't trash talk to someone who can legitimately beat you to death if he wanted.
But this is what started it all, is because Joe Rogan was providing that exact same feedback to Colby Covington about John Jones, because John Jones and Colby Covington got into a Twitter beef, very brief one. And so John Jones, so Joe Rogan says to him, wasn't saying to him, but was saying on the Joe Rogan Experience, his podcast, he says, John Jones is going to be in front of you one day, so you've got to be careful. Watch your words. You're going to get slapped in the face by a guy who can kill you with his hands. That's a bad move. And he said, I get what Colby's doing. He's making a lot of noise and trying to do business. If you fight him, you're going to make a lot of money because people are going to want to come and see him get his tail kicked. So in response to those comments, Colby Covington said on BJ Penn Radio, I think Joe Rogan should worry about what he's saying about me, because we might just meet face to face soon in the near future. He might be commentating that Chicago card. So that's kind of hypocritical of him to say something like that, because when he's talking about me, we might be face to face. I just might have to slap him.
Someone has to rein him in. This isn't even good for business anymore.
All I know is that, I took for granted how little Colby Covington is. And, I typically shy away from talking about fighter size, given the fact that the smallest male fighter in the UFC, the smallest champion is Demetrius Johnson at 125 pounds, and I still respect
and that's your dude.
But yeah, it's my dude. But Colby Covington looks like a little bitty boy. I mean, I don't know what it is about his body shape, but he does. He looks like a little boy. He's still got puberty to go through. Joe Rogan is a man. John Jones is a man. Fabricio Verdum is a man. Don't be messing with these guys, okay? Stick with the kids on the playground, okay?
Right? It's problematic, but not even just because, all right, pick on somebody your own size, but at least have intelligent conversations. The man is just spouting anything he can say to grab attention, whether it's useful or not. It's not even in the realm of promo talk. It's just a scared guy saying whatever he can.
Right. And so Joe Rogan kind of came back and he says, after the whole Colby remarks, he says, don't slap me. Come on, man, don't slap me. He's like, the reason why Colby is fighting for the title, the reason why Colby is getting to fight Rafael dos Anjos for the interim title is not because he's beating good guys. He has, acknowledged he has beat Damian Maia, but more importantly, it's that he's going to be putting butts in seats. It's part of the fight business now. There's a pre and post Conor McGregor, and post Conor McGregor, the whole game has changed. And he says, it's red panties night, baby. Everything's different. And that's what it is. Colby Covington, he's gotten himself into a position where he's fighting for an interim title, even though the biggest fighter he's beaten on his record is Damian Maia. And while he dominated Damian Maia, Damian Maia is at the sunset of his career. It's not like this is Damian Maia who fought Anderson Silva. That's a different Damian Maia.
Yeah, this whole thing is problematic in the post-Conor era because you've got champions fighting the number 11 ranked person to become champion. You've got people who are probably 2 fights away from being in a championship fight, getting a shot. Just your whole ranking system is now based on who can draw, and that's problematic.
Absolutely. But you know what? There's a blog out there on combatsportstalk.com that fixes the ranking system. You know, y'all should check it out.
Hashtag fix it.
Hashtag fix it. All right. Chad Mendes returns from 2-year suspension to face Miles Jury at UFC Boise. Like, they have a card in Boise, Idaho, July 14th.
And that's why Chad's headlining it, because who the crap knows about that?
Well, you know, it's a big deal. He's coming back. Chad Money Mendes, one of the few people who's ever put Conor McGregor outside of Nate Diaz, but put Conor McGregor, at risk in a fight. It was Chad Mendes with 2 weeks of notice to train. Remember, he's done some good things, but this standout at Team Alpha Male is finally coming back after his 2-year suspension. In 2016, he was busted for GHRP, that's growth hormone releasing hexapeptide. Now, my question for you is, dude's 5'6", man. Why are we getting on him about trying to take some growth hormone? He's just trying to help himself out.
Boo, you're better than that. Golly.
He's a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
So,
sad. Hey, Money Mendes is my dude. Anyone who can put Conor to shame, I wish they had given him a full fight camp.
Yeah.
Or at least that Chad had taken more growth hormones to make this worthwhile.
Yeah. So he's coming off his 2-year suspension. The good thing about it is that he has totally owned up to it, said, hey, I screwed up. I deserved the suspension. He served it, and now he's coming back. So I hope that he's got, some good few more years in front of him. But the reason why I bring this up is because he did break the rules, and he was responsible, and he took what was given him in the way of a 2-year suspension. But Junior Dos Santos, Cigano, heavyweight, he's been complaining because he's coming off of a suspension too. But he's coming off a suspension because they levied a suspension against him and then found out that he had gone to a Brazilian pharmacy that was producing contaminated supplements. And so, therefore, his career was stopped for 8 months. He lost an opportunity to fight Francis Ngannou because he had the tainted sample, and the policy is not innocent until proven guilty. The policy is guilty until proven innocent, and so you can't fight while you've got this alleged violation hanging over your head.
This is not a good thing at all. I don't know. I think JDS has grounds for a grievance against at least USADA, if not the UFC, given that the way his case is laid out, that it was widely known by USADA that this was not likely to be a purposeful violation of the rules. So to be suspended and to lose an opportunity to earn money, that's a fair grievance if I've ever heard one.
Right, and what he came down with, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce this chemical, is known by USADA not to be an effective form of doping. He had such low traces of it in his system that even if he was taking it, it wasn't something that's going to give him an edge anyway. So there's no reason why he should have been put up on the shelf like this and kept from fighting. So it's not just the fact that, he was innocent and wasn't actively trying to cheat, but also the fact that USADA, when they found what the chemical was and what trace amounts they found in his system, they should have known that this was not giving him any type of competitive advantage anyway. And in both cases, they shouldn't have suspended him.
I think there's one solution to all of this. No drug testing. Everyone do whatever it takes to win.
Sweep the leg.
I don't actually mean that, by the way.
UFC 227 might be the best card of the year. It's scheduled for August 4th at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California.
Go ahead and hit the hype train.
We should totally do that. So, right now, the only fight that's actually been signed, actually there's 2 fights that have been signed so far. TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt 2. So this was the other fight that happened when Joanna Jędrzejczyk lost her belt to Thug Rose No Hair. TJ Dillashaw defeated Cody Garbrandt to take the 135-pound belt back. And
I'm glad that they're running this back instead of DJ. TJ versus Cody is a much more compelling fight to me because Cody had TJ in trouble early in the fight, and this could have easily gone either way.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to see what happens when they run this back. But here's some of the other fights they're talking about on this card. George St. Pierre versus Nate Diaz at 155 pounds. George has never fought at 155 pounds, but theoretically, if they were to make this fight, which I know it's a long shot, and they do it at 155, that puts George St. Pierre right in the crosshairs of Khabib Nurmagomedov.
That's partially why I don't think this happens.
Why is that?
Because George versus Khabib, well, first of all, that's assuming Khabib is still the champion at that point, which I doubt it. But it's a money fight, but George doesn't need that. Like, his legacy is solidified.
I think if he were to, he doesn't really need the Nate Diaz fight, but he already beat Nick Diaz. He's doing it in reverse. Instead of having the Billy Goats Gruff get progressively bigger, they're getting progressively smaller. So it should be easier for George St. Pierre to beat Nate Diaz since he's already beat Nick Diaz. But Alexander Gustafsson versus Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold, now that he's kind of, he doesn't have much left to fight for at 185. He's moving up to 205, and he's talked some major smack against Alexander Gustafsson, who's coming off of surgery. This could be a great fight.
I'm marginally interested in it.
Okay.
Only marginally.
I'm excited about it. Like, they've talked some enough. Like, Alexander Gustafsson doesn't really talk smack, so for him to talk smack against Luke Rockhold, he tries. Yeah. He's Swedish though, so it's like nice. It's
Wow.
I love my Swede fans. Love my Swedish fans. I love the way that they talk. It's great.
But here's the thing. Luke Rockhold coming off getting the snot knocked out of him makes me less excited about him moving up.
Well, we'll see what happens there. The other fight that has been signed, it is official. They had talked about this in the previous, was it two fight cards ago, when at UFC 223. So Zabit Magomedsharipov, part of the Dagestani Gangsters that rolls with Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's not a made up name. It almost got past me there. He called out, whenever they gave him the call out, he called out Yair Pantera Rodriguez, and they have signed it. That is going to happen August 4th. That is going to be a great fight. You talk about two guys who have electric moves. Like, they are so fast. And Magomedsharipov is 6'1", weighing 145 pounds. Like, this guy, it's ridiculous. So this is going to be a great fight. Like, if you are a casual fight fan and you want to see really good action, that's the fight to watch. Yair Rodriguez, Zabit Magomedsharipov, August 4th. All right, we're going to play a game.
Let's play game.
You want to play game? We play game. So this one is going to be called, it's kind of Matrix style. Take a pill, acquire a skill. I'm going to give you 12 pills. You pick 2. The idea is if you take the pill, you get this fighter's skill. Okay? Can I lay some ground rules?
No, because I know what ground rule 1 is, and I don't.
Ground rule 1: 0 is not an option.
You are terrible.
Anything higher than 12 is not an option.
Excellent.
If I don't name it, it's not an option. Okay?
Do we have to use integers, or does it have to be a real number? Can I use like 4.5?
You can use well, that would be a real number, but it would not be an integer. You cannot use imaginary numbers though. So please, no square roots of negative numbers.
Fair. That is fair.
All right, so here you go. Pick 2. Would you take Dan Henderson's H-bomb overhand right? Would you take Conor's left hand? He's got that. He knocks lots of people out with the left hand. Edson Barbosa's kicks. Those leg kicks are destructive, and then he comes around with those wheel kicks that just, highlight film. Anderson Silva's elusive defense. Is there one you like?
We'll keep going.
Okay. Number 5, DJ's speed. Demetrius Johnson's speed. Number 6, John Jones wrestling. Number 7, Overeem's knees. Number 8, Khabib Nurmagomedov's grappling. Number 9, George St. Pierre's jab. Number 10, Mark Hunt's chin. Number 11, Frankie Edgar's heart.
Or can I have his actual heart?
Or 12, Damian Maia's submissions. I'm powering through this.
So you have Maia's submission, but his lack of offense.
his suspect punching.
All right. So given these very, very many options, which luckily I have written down for me, I pick number 4, Anderson Silva's defense, because it is best in world. Nobody better.
That was not good.
No,
keep going.
Nobody gonna take away this belt from me.
All right, keep going. You got Anderson Silva's defense.
All right, and I need some offense in this mix. The thing is, like, a lot of people will want Conor's left hand, but it is useless if you don't have everything else that Conor offers, because you can't just watch his left hand. So that said, I'm going with. Dang it, that's hard. I'm going with the H-bomb.
All right. Anderson's defense and then the H-bomb. That's a good combo.
I wanted John Jones wrestling, but it's it's hard to take just that one piece of John Jones offense, because his wrestling is set up with his kicks to the thighs.
Yep. All right, for me, I'm going to go with Khabib's grappling.
Ooh.
Because then you take them down, you just ride them, you just keep them down on the ground and just beat them up and talk to them while they do it. And I gotta go with this one. I gotta go with DJ's speed, man. Can you imagine how fast I would be if I had DJ's speed? That way you could never hit me, and then I could take you down at will and ragdoll you and just hold you down and beat you up. That's it for me, man. So
hey, your weight, if you had DJ's speed, that'd be a thing of majesty. There's no other word to describe what that would be.
All I got to say is, at my weight, if I had DJ's speed, I would affect the tides.
Very true.
Hey, shout out to Flow Combat who posted this on Twitter. I thought that was fun. So let's continue. Big headlines. Press release came out, I think it was yesterday or today. UFC reaches groundbreaking deal with Walt Disney Company and ESPN. Basically, the UFC is taking advantage of ESPN Plus, their streaming service. So for $4.99 a month or $49.99 per year, you can subscribe to ESPN app or the ESPNplus.com, and you can see exclusive events from the UFC content. You get to see new seasons of Dana White's Contender Series. You get some all-access series produced by IMG, the owner, the parent company of the UFC. Exclusive pre- and post-event shows at all 15 UFC on ESPN Plus fight nights, because that's not a mouthful. Don't say it.
It's what,
yeah.
I'll keep it family righted right there.
Yeah, thank you. Non-exclusive access to UFC's full archive of programming, including historic events, classic bouts, and original programming, and then additional UFC-branded content, including UFC countdown shows, press conference weigh-ins, and pre- and post shows. The question that I have for you is, what happens to Fight Pass? Because apparently they're saying that you can still watch things via Fight Pass, but if the stuff that's on Fight Pass is on ESPN Plus for $5 cheaper, why the heck am I going to have Fight Pass?
Yeah, it's a weird promotion there, but I think you got to keep it there for your legacy customers.
Yeah, but I would just move off. I mean, I would just move off of Fight Pass because I get all new seasons of Dana White's Contender Series. I get the full archive of programming, all the fights. I get the UFC branded content, including the countdown shows. I get the press conferences, weigh-ins, and post-shot. Like, there's nothing that you would get from Fight Pass that you couldn't get on ESPN Plus, and it's $5 cheaper.
Well, we know the answer there. Get neither.
So here's the thing.
Stream it.
Hey, listen, we do not support that type of behavior.
I fully agree, Mr. FCC.
Thank you. The only thing is the UFC's bringing in tons of, I think this is like I don't remember how much, but it was a huge deal signed.
It's huge.
Huge.
None
don't
of
know.
the fighters will see any of this money.
That's what I was getting ready to go to, is that now the fighters are saying, wait, the UFC is using this content and they're signing these big deals with ESPN and Walt Disney, but our fight pay stays the same?
This is getting to be a problem because more and more fighters are trying to file grievances against the UFC. UFC is making it harder, firing fighters. It's not getting better. I mean, there has to be a time for them to unionize, and it doesn't appear like that time has yet come.
Well, if Leslie Smith gets her way, then they will have that. So
we'll see.
Season 2 of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series begins June 12th in Las Vegas. Now, this is going to start off in the Tough Gym. They're going to start that off in the Tough Gym, the Ultimate Fighter. That's what Tough stands for.
Oh, good job.
And this is basically like the reality show, The Ultimate Fighter, except they get all the people out of the house. This is what you've been begging for.
Yep.
Like, take all the drama out and just let's see these people who want to fight in the UFC. Let's give them a shot. Let them fight.
This is a much better setup, I think.
So, the premise is simple. Fight your tail off, impress the boss, and win a UFC contract. Here's the thing. You got 3 fighters to watch next season. Number 1, Greg Hardy. We talked about
Cowboys.
him. Former Dallas Cowboy, was a defensive tackle, defensive end, something like that, a.k.a. alleged wife beater.
Yeah. That's
I'm
going to leave that alone.
I said alleged, so therefore it's true.
According to the UFC and let's move on. Nick Newell.
14-1. This is Nick Newell. My heart goes out to him. I gotta apologize to him for last week though, because let me tell you what happened last week. So last week I was talking about the fact that he's going to be on the Contender Series, and I was super excited about it. And what happened was I was trying to talk about his congenital amputee. That he's a congenital amputee. That he's part of his arm is cut off. And what was happening was I was trying to go back in the run sheet back to where I actually had what his disability was, because I couldn't come up with congenital amputee. And so I'm going back trying to find it, and it just sounds it's the most awkward sounding time on the show, because I'm like, he's got a and his arm is and it was like, just spit it out.
Better. Yeah.
And that's like, no, I'm not having trouble saying it. I just want to use the correct term, and I couldn't find it on the run sheet. So apologies to Nick Newell. I am on your hype train. I hope that you are able to win your fight in dramatic fashion and get yourself a UFC contract that we can see you fighting in the octagon in the near future. And finally, Antonio Shevchenko, the sister of Valentino, the Bullet Shevchenko, is going to be on that show as well. So we see the little Bullet. Maybe we call her the BB.
It's very interesting. I watched them on Instagram, and they train very hard.
So maybe maybe we call her the Pellet.
Nah, fam.
Call her the Airsoft.
So that'll be an interesting contender series.
It will. Speaking of content that's from the UFC, the 40-second anger beat of Ronda Rousey is now free to watch. And I use anger beat because that's a John Keyes term, and I like it. The anger beat. So Ronda Rousey has lost twice in the UFC. The first one was the head kick from hell, which was Holly Holmes. See the H's?
It can't be from hell. No, see, but it'd be from heaven because she's the preacher's daughter.
Okay, I'll accept that. I support it.
The heavenly head kick. Holly's heavenly head kick.
Holly's heavenly head kick from hell. That's the first defeat that Ronda Rousey experienced in her UFC and MMA career.
She took a couple of L's in life before that, though.
Oh, in life, but in the UFC or MMA. The second one was a little bit more dramatic because it was like 40 seconds of just Amanda Nunes punching Ronda Rousey in the face. It was pretty nice to watch. So the UFC has made that free to watch. Go out and check it out. The Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey. I've seen it like 4 times. Like I've been watching it on just repeat.
That's strange.
Why is it strange?
Because Floyd Mayweather was once on Dancing with the Stars.
So I challenge you. I challenge you. Go watch Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey and see if you don't watch it twice. At least twice.
All right, fair enough.
All right, we'll come back and check that. All right, and finally, the last thing on this segment, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine. He is the CEO and co-founder of Team Totality. That's an esport. There's a game. It's like a massively multiplayer first-person shooter called PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, or PUBG. And so he was on World News Entertainment. I'm speaking about Sean Barkle. He was the first co-host, the original co-host.
The originator, an OG.
Of Combat Sports Talk. So shout out to him. He's got his new career in esports. They've got a team together, and they're working their way up the gaming ladder. Someday they may be big sponsored and doing that thing on the big screen.
Congratulations from Russia with love.
And those are the headlines that are making waves in the MMA world. Let's look at the fights coming up this weekend on the Heavy Bag.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is the fight card. It's Mother's Day.
Before you go,
yeah,
I have to do this because I'm so excited. Yo, the greatest fighter of all MMA history is coming to do his thing, man. Can you believe it?
Javi Ayala. I'm so excited.
Man, this card is stacked.
All right, let's get into it then. So it is Mother's Day Massacre weekend. Bellator and UFC are going head to head on May 12th. I have it here. It's Friday night. I don't know why I have it here Friday night. It's Saturday night. May 12th, UFC and Bellator are going head-to-head. We are going to see who gets the bigger ratings.
I'm watching Bellator all day.
Free Bellator on Spike or the pay-per-view UFC 224. But let's go back into Bellator 199. The red-crested stepchild is at the SAP Center in San Jose, California. We're looking at Ryan Darth Bader versus King Mo Muhammad Lawal.
My man, King Mo's got that one sewed up.
Oh, so you're going to make your fight pick right now before we even get through the other. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's how I roll.
Aaron Pico versus Lee Morrison. That's going to be a good one. Javi Ayala gets a free W by fighting Czech Congo to death.
Yo, can you give this man his due? He is clearly one of the most accomplished fighters in all MMA history. He's put on some of the greatest shows you have ever seen in an
Paris.
octagon. Czech Congo, he's the man.
Okay, so
he's very nice.
Let me just say, when I saw that this fight, Czech Congo versus Javi Ayala, had been signed and added to Bellator 199, this is like, I'll probably say 4 months ago. I tweeted out, congratulations to Javi Ayala for winning that fight, because it's going to happen. He's going to beat Czech Congo because, the gift that keeps on giving is Czech Congo. The only person who wasn't able to take advantage of Czech Congo is Pat Barry, a.k.a. Thug Rose Namajunas' no hair arm candy.
Look, here's the thing. Czech Congo by overhand right in the second hand. And when I'm correct, you have to wear a Czech Congo shirt.
Okay, you have to buy me a Czech Congo shirt because I ain't buying
No, that's not how that works. that's how
I'll
much
wear
I
it.
believe in.
I'll wear it, but you got to buy it. I don't even think they make Czech Congo shirts. I think the Czech Congo shirts got sent to one of those small villages that whenever the team that loses the Super Bowl, they get a big shipment of T-shirts. It's Czech Congo shirts and New England Patriots Super Bowl shirts.
It used to be a bunch of. You know what? Let's. Who else do we have on here?
We got John Fitch and versus Paul Daly. One of the stories that I wanted to put on the headlines, finding the angles, was Paul Daly complaining about how much he's been getting paid by Bellator. I think that relationship is coming to an end, but I don't know that he's got anywhere else to go because he's not coming back to the UFC. It's the only promise that Dana White's ever kept. And if Paul Daly leaves Bellator, he's got no place to go. Maybe one FC will take him.
One FC for sure.
And then the main event, Ryan Darth Bader versus King Mo Lawal. This is the next round, it's still preliminary rounds of the Heavyweight Grand Prix. By the way, neither one of these guys are heavyweights. So how does that happen?
Because Bellator's Heavyweight Grand Prix is a joke. It's funny.
So UFC 224, it's in Junesse Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Nunes versus Pennington. Vitor the Phenom Belfort in his last fight of his MMA career until he decides to fight again. Lyoto the Dragon Machida is his opponent. How do you feel about that fight?
Muito bom. I think it'll be very good. Actually, nah. I think Vitor wins this. Lyota's just on this streak where it's time for him to wrap it up. I'm a little less excited about where this fight goes because these guys are old.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Lyoto Machida. I think that Vitor Belfort is going to have trouble catching Lyoto, and I think that Lyoto is going to outpoint him for the win. John, the Hands of Stone Lineker versus Brian Boom Kelleher. John is ranked number 6 in his division. I think that's pretty much a toss-up. I do like Boom's nickname, Brian Boom Kelleher. So
put me down for the Hands of Stone.
Okay. Mackenzie Dern is fighting Amanda ABC Cooper.
My girl.
It's a warm-up fight. This is a tomato can, man. This is Amanda Cooper's coming in at 4-3. Mackenzie Dern is 6-0. This is one of those. Yeah, I mean, it's a filler fight. Like, why are you getting excited? Why are you singing My Girl?
For other reasons unrelated to the show. Because Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda ABC Cooper. Is that really her middle name?
Her fight name. Her fight name is ABC. Like, that's all I'm saying. It's like everything is elementary. She's going to be like, and this is a jab.
ABC. It's the easiest 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's Mackenzie Dern's going to be singing that.
Me. All right, we'll see.
In the co-main event, Jacare Souza faces off against Kelvin Gastelum. This is actually a really good fight.
Kelvin is making a case for himself these days. Like, it's not that he needed to become a new fighter, but now that he's got his weight stuff in check, this dude is seemingly unstoppable.
I'm super proud, and he's young too, so he's right in the prime of his career. Jacare Souza is trying to get back to where he was challenging for a title, but I think the winner of this fight has an easy claim on the winner of Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero. I think that this is the number one contender fight right here.
I could have been a contender.
And in the main event of the evening, Amanda, the Lioness Nunes versus Raquel Rocky Pennington. This is a fight that is not worth watching because Amanda Nunes is going to smash her face three different kinds of ways. It's going to be a brutal beating. Raquel Pennington is going to learn why she should stay home.
Now, the problem with this is, though that is very possible to happen, Amanda is learning to fight like a champion. She's not going to go out and batter this. She's not going to batter Pennington. She's going to stay back and point this thing to death.
Nope, this is going to be finished. It's going to be a fourth round finish. Raquel Pennington is not going to be able to keep the pace. She's not going to be able to take the damage. The level of striking that Amanda Nunes is bringing to the ring is so far above Raquel Pennington that this is not going to be entertaining at all. I'm just switch it. Let Jacare versus Kelvin Gastelum be the main event. I mean, it's just Amanda Nunes does not need to be in the ring. She needs to be fighting. She needs to be fighting Cris Cyborg.
No, what you need to do is get a division that's good enough. Like you can't keep penalizing your champions because their divisions are trash.
Fair. I've made that argument, but if you're gonna put somebody that's gonna be a challenge for Amanda Nunes, it's not Raquel Pennington. This is the sole purpose of this fight is for Amanda Nunes to have a spectacular win so they can put her in the ring with Cris Cyborg and say, look, Amanda Nunes is destroying all of the number one competition because Raquel Pennington, I think right now, is ranked number one at Bantamweight. Just to wrap your brain around that one. So Amanda Nunes comes in there, ameliorates Raquel Pennington, and then they're like, oh, well, who else has she got to fight? Well, the only person she can fight is Cris Cyborg. So then they put them in the ring, and then Cris Cyborg brings out the hammer and drops Nunes. And then what do you do next? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be cynical here, but this is not a fight worth watching. Happy
I believe
day!
You used the word ameliorate incorrectly.
Did I really?
According to Google.
Okay. Bring it.
According to Google, the word ameliorate means to make something bad or unsatisfactory better.
Really?
The reform did much to ameliorate their living standards. So maybe obliterate would have been a better word.
Well, guess what? I'm going to run with it. She's going to ameliorate Raquel Pennington. She will improve.
For this beating, it's for your good.
It's gonna hurt Amanda Nunes more than it's gonna hurt Raquel Pennington. She's gonna be a better fighter because of it. There it is.
I feel so good about myself right now.
You know what? I'm gonna keep this. Normally, I mean, it's rare that I make mistakes, but when I do, I have been known to edit those out. But I'm gonna let you have this one.
Hey, everyone, come see how humble I am. I never make mistakes.
I rarely make mistakes. I'm about 99% accurate. So, you know what?
Oh.
Congrats. You found the 1%.
Well, that's been our show, folks.
Well, that's our show. Really? I am going to have to,
It put a pause in me. I was like, hold on. I'm pretty sure I've heard this word used differently.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's, you got me. Somebody write that down.
Escríbelo, por favor.
All right. Okay, so that is our show. Do you have anything else? Are you going to be back with us next week? Should I go ahead and book Mr. Keys?
Yeah, honestly, John Keys will be with you with the keys to victory, as Kelechi will be out in Greenville, South Carolina, as I'm currently sitting in Alabama now, and won't be back in Dallas or Denver for quite some time.
Really? Okay. Well, hey, man, I'm glad you were able to make it for our 50 show. This is number 50.
Yeah, you know what we should have played is something by 50 Cent.
Yeah.
No? All right. Well, this has been fun.
Way to contribute to the show during the show at the very end. Like, hey, it's our 50th episode. We should play something by 50 Cent. Yeah. Okay. I'll cue that. I'll cue that right up.
Yeah, let me get that real quick.
All right. So follow us on social media. On Twitter, I'm at CST Ryan.
And I am sneezing on the mic. At
that
CST.
Was a sneeze?
I was trying to mask it at the very last second there. I'm allergic to the South, man. This place is killing me.
Oh, man.
So on Twitter, I am at CST_KC.
Yeah, but he all he does is if this, then that's his Instagram.
Yeah. Don't check my Twitter. I refuse to. I only tweet hate at people. So if that's what you want, feel free. But catch me on Instagram. I am at pushpullpray or at obfuscated.
Okay. How you spell that?
I hate that this is a running joke. Look it up.
You can check out the website at www.combatsportstalk.com. You can also find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, and Instagram. I am Combat Sports Talk on Instagram. We now have merchandise on Amazon. New shirt came out.
New shirts.
What's that horn? Where's the horn?
Bum, bum, bum. Treat yourself.
The new shirt is KC's catchphrase.
Boom! Rocked 'em.
So it's the Boom Rocked 'em catchphrase shirt. Go and check it out. It's pretty dope. I have one.
I have.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have.
So you can go on the website and click the merchandise link on our website, www.combatsportstalk.com, or you can search on Amazon for Combat Sports Talk, and then you'll see the shirts that we have available. We are adding new shirts every couple of weeks, so keep your eye out. I'm sure we'll have something that you will enjoy. Our theme music is composed by Scott McCurry at scottdeancountry.com. Casey Onyebuchi produced our lead-ins.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of Combat Sports Talk. For Ryan Troubadour Smith, I am KC, reminding you to keep your hands up, your chin tucked, and you throw bombs, you Dagestani gangster.
All right.
Usually there's music at this point.
But since I decided to read the credits instead of playing the outro, I just wow, this is one hot mess of a show. Way to go, 50! Yay, 50!
We did it!
Do better.
I love that all of my catchphrases are being stolen. I support it.
All right. Hey, man. Stay safe, especially where you are.
Right?
All right, bye.
You can't end the show with bye.
Good luck.
Godspeed.
Get out.
Right? Man ended the show with bye.
How about we end the show like this? Our theme music is composed by Scott McCurry at scottdeancountry.com. Casey Onyebuchi produced our lead-ins. I want to thank you for joining us for another edition of Combat Sports Talk. For Casey Onyebuchi, I'm Ryan Smith, reminding you to keep your hands up, your chin tucked, and throw balls.